This is Jason Davis on the Best Soccer Show, a very special episode, another interview for you guys. Excellent guest tonight. Geoff Cameron of the Houston Dynamo joins us. How are you, Geoff?
Not bad. Yourself?
I'm good. It's late December. You've had a month or so, maybe a little bit more to think about the 2011 season. I wanted to ask you, in your mind, knowing you guys lost in the final to LA, by all accounts, a great season, but was it a success for you personally?
I think so. Especially coming off of a tough knee injury last year. It was, coming back. I finished, the last 2 or 3 months of last season, and then, coming in this season, training and whatnot, taking care of myself in the off season, being able to train with Nottingham Forest, and then kind of getting the groove of things a little bit. I think it helped me out personally, playing center mid and then obviously making a jump in the back. Just felt confident and, in my ability. Although we started off slow with the Dynamo, but we hit the peak at the right time.
Do you guys think as a team, do you think the Dynamo overachieved this year? I mean, I'm not sure that a lot of people. I mean, and we know nothing as observers, but I don't think a lot of people picked you guys.
So I think we have a lot of ability in our team, and it's just a matter of confidence and the ability in one another. And if a team's confident, it's hard to break a team down. And I think that's what we lacked the year before, where there's injuries, this and that, but we weren't confident. We weren't a confident group, compared to the old Houston Dynamo, like Brian Mullen, a guy like Richard Mulrooney, Craig Weibel. You get those guys that have won 5 or 6 championships, which is unbelievable, and you lose that big core group of guys. The locker room changes a little bit, and the attitude a little bit. And I think it took almost a year to kind of rebound and get that attitude again, and that willingness to not lose every single battle and to win every single battle. And if you get beat, you're going to get the guy back. Just taking pride in yourself and in your play, I think was a big thing. And Dom kind of tried to implement that again, when we were struggling, but it was tough. And then this year we kind of found our form. It was a little slow, but everybody had faith in it, and everybody stuck together. And I think that's one of the biggest things that, kind of the turnaround with the Dynamo. People doubted us, said you weren't going to make the playoffs, this and that. We didn't have a road win, and then we ended up winning on the road at the toughest places.
Right. You talked about Craig Weibel, excuse me, and Mullen and those guys, and I want to ask if you felt like you had to take on. I mean, obviously Brian Ching is still there, and Brad Davis is still there, and there's a veteran presence. But did you feel like you had to take on a leadership role this year, even coming off of the injury and missing so much of 2010?
Yeah, I think so. I'm a guy that firmly believes in your ability. You show by example, not by the mouth. And I thought I did that in the field. Every game I leave it all. There's not a doubt in my mind that I walk off the field and I say, hey, I didn't give it all. You might not have a bad game technically and stuff, but I'm walking off the field knowing that I gave it, my 100%, and I left the hard work on the field. And I think that's a true leader of leading by example, and setting an example for the team, and especially for younger guys that are coming in, such as Alex Dixon. You got a guy like Will Bruin who, passed me this year for minutes, and, he got kind of frustrated towards the end of the season because he wasn't getting playing time. But, I saw that, and some of the other guys saw it, and we kind of pulled them aside and be like, hey, look at what you've done so far. You would have never expected to get this amount of minutes this year, but look at how much you've played, and we're in the finals, or we're in the playoffs. Just wait for your opportunity. When you get that opportunity, you take full advantage of it. So little things like that, you try to set an example, and you do it by playing.
I think the one constant that people look to with Houston and the guy that's been there and taken that team to places in some cases nobody thought they could get to is Dom Kinnear. Can you talk a little bit about his influence on your career to this point, what he means to the Dynamo, and where you would place him in, obviously you play for the guy, but where you would place him in the ranks of MLS coaches at this point?
I think he's one of the best, if not the best. A guy like that, he's played the game, he's played at the national team level. He knows the ins and outs of soccer, and he's a player coach, and that's what guys like playing for player coaches. He understands the players' needs. He understands what they go through daily with bruises, nicks here and there, and he can relate to them. He's an open-minded guy. If you disagree with him, I should have stepped here, or I saw this differently. He's willing to discuss it, and that doesn't happen often.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me the opportunity, and I don't think I could be here without him. And he gave me seeing roster spot my rookie year. He saw some potential in me, and he gave me a lot of opportunities. And that's one thing I say. He gives the guys opportunities, and it's whether or not you take advantage of them. And that's the big thing with Dom. He'll give you opportunities to shine and give you opportunities to play and produce. And it's whether or not you take full advantage of that. And a perfect example is Will Bruin this year. He liked Will Bruin's work ethic. He's fantastic. Working off the ball. He's got some raw skill there, and he's trying to develop it into kind of like the next Brian Trink.
Looking forward to next year because the clock doesn't stop. You guys have a stadium opening next year, and I wanted to get your thoughts on what that means to you as a player, to Houston as a soccer city. We're kind of adding these as we go along. Sporting Kansas City obviously was fantastic, and firsthand what that place is like and how tough winning there is. What do you expect your stadium to be like?
I can't wait for our stadium to be built to have our 22,000 fans there screaming and yelling. You get the El Batallon, you got all these teams, all these fans that come in on Robinson, and they're loud as hell. But to have our own specific stadium, it just makes us more legit. It feels like we're finally complete. We got our own stadium. We got a practice facility. We actually have the field. We don't have the building yet. That's in the process. But we feel like an actual professional team. And then when you go to places like Toronto, New York, you go to Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City is by far one of the best places to play. I mean, the environment, they're so close to you. The stadium's beautiful. Guys love to play in stadiums like that. And I'm actually looking forward to playing in our stadium because, all the talk and how close it's going to be to the fans. That's what you want to. You want to play in that kind of European environment. And I think the guys are counting down the days till I think it was our opening days, May 11th or May 12th.
In terms of, you talk about legitimacy and making it feel like you feel like a professional team. You've been in the league 4 years. I know you play with the guys that have been around a lot longer. What is that? I know it's an intangible thing, but how important to not just Houston specifically for you guys next year, but in MLS? How important is kind of that feeling? All right, we're not going anywhere. We got roots now. These buildings are our buildings. How important is that for you as a player in MLS?
It's really important. I mean, it just shows you the growth of the league. I mean, the fact that you're getting more and more soccer-specific stadiums around kind of gives you a little chills. I remember when growing up, the first soccer-specific stadium was the Columbus Crew.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going there, and then it was Dallas and this and that, and now to see how the growth of this league has blossomed, and now you got San Jose. We moved. The San Jose Earthquakes moved because they weren't going to get a stadium. And then we come to Houston, and now we got a stadium. It just makes our league legit, and I think a lot of people are accepting the league that we're an actual league, and people over in Europe are giving us more credit now. When you go around the football, NFL, everybody has their own stadium. Right. NBA, they have their own facilities. All the major leagues here in the United States have their own facilities, except for, the MLS for a good part of time. And now, look at it, where everybody's getting their own stadiums. Seattle's, selling out 34,000 people every single game, and they're opening up again. All these things like that play into the fact of, the soccer is getting bigger and bigger here in the United States.
There's a difference between renting and owning, definitely. Let's talk about something else that's happened in the offseason since you guys came up a little bit short in the championship game. They had the expansion draft right afterwards. You were pretty candid about your thoughts about Jesse Marsch in the aftermath of him selecting Brian Ching. With the stadium opening next year, I mean, as far as I know, Brian's status is still kind of up in the air. Will it feel hollow? Will it feel wrong if Brian Ching's not part of that stadium opening in 2012?
I think so, personally. I think the guy's been a leader with the Dynamo, and, I just don't think he was chosen for the right reasons. With a guy like that, it's kind of like there's rules in Major League Baseball. If he's played in the league so many years, he should have the right to choose if he wants to go there or not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, something that you can figure out later on. And but it's just tough, Brian deserves to play with the Dynamo, and who would have? I know he eventually wanted to work with the front office
mm-hmm.
and end his career there. But you look at it, he's a guy that's been the symbol for the Dynamo since he was in San Jose, and he moved here. He's been the face. He's carried our team to 2 championships, him and Dwayne Giuliario, and now he's kind of taken from us. And it was kind of I personally think it was kind of rough decision, rough move by Jesse Marsch, first time. And, they've never really, I don't think they've really gotten along. But it's a chance that we took, and, we're kind of moving on with the younger guys and whatnot. But I think I still have faith that Brian will be in an orange uniform for our opening day.
Okay.
He's a good buddy of mine, and I wish him the best. But I hope he's there with us. And I think a lot of guys feel the same way.
I mean, obviously, nothing team organized team activities are happening right now. But what kind of effect does the limbo, just not knowing, is Brian going to? Is he going to retire like he said he would if he was picked? Is he going to, on the off chance, will he go play in Montreal? Will a trade happen to bring him back? How does that affect you guys as a team, just not knowing right now?
It kind of affects. I don't think it affects us as a team. Obviously, missing him in the locker room might be a big deal and on the field, but he was injured for a good amount of the year this past year.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have him. We had to deal with him, and we stepped up. I think the biggest thing we'll miss is his late goal scoring ability, and him in the locker room, piping down the young guys,
Right.
But this overall morale of the team, I think we all feel bad for him. And I don't think we're all. I mean, it's personal business and whatnot, so I don't think we're trying to get into it. But I think it leaves us wondering. I hope he comes back, and everybody speculates of who we're going to pick up this off season.
Right.
Who we're going to grab, that kind of stuff. Like everybody speculates,
right.
But it's his business, and we'll hear it when you guys find out, and just like everybody else.
All right. So the schedule. When the schedule comes out for 2012. Who are you? What game are you circling first? The LA Galaxy rematch from the championship game, or Montreal?
LA.
Okay, that's
LA.
So it's about getting redemption for. Not, I mean, obviously you can't in a regular season game you can't get redemption for losing a championship, but that's the game that you're looking forward to most.
Yeah, I mean, LA's a good team. We got to give them credit, and I thought we held on pretty strongly and held them to the 75th minute or so. I don't think we didn't have a lot of opportunities in the game, but we're a good team, and a young team that made it this far last year with to the MLS Cup. I think we have some potential going into next year. Luis Camargo, who we acquired last season, mid-season, and to have a full preseason with us and the start of the season, I think he's going to be a great addition to us, and he'll be able to get comfortable again and find his form.
One question that's kind of trailed you around the last couple of years is Geoff Cameron is he a midfielder? Is he a center back? And which is it? I mean, I know the shift has been made as far as I know. Maybe
I'm a center back, man. I'm a center back.
And that's where you want to be.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Although there might be times where I want to push up in the midfield when we're down a goal or something like that.
okay. But
I want to
in
get up
terms
there,
of
but
in terms of the team sheet, you're okay with center back. That's where you think you're most effective for the Houston Dynamo.
yes.
All right. And do you think that versatility on the positive side and maybe lack of a defined position, if you want to be negative about it, do you think that's affected your national team prospects in the last couple of years?
Probably. Especially not being able to get frequent call-ups throughout the season or whatnot because I'm playing midfield or I'm playing outside mid or this and that. I'm sure it has an effect to it. But at the same time, I think changing from center midfield this year to center back, I think it helped my chances with the national team call-up this year. In the finals and our run to the playoffs. I think that helped me out a lot.
Okay, well, there's obviously a group of young guys at center back that either have national team aspirations or are already kind of in the mix. Tim Ream, Omar Gonzalez, George John. You're going to be in the January camp in Carson next month. Because of maybe the competition there, but also because you've established yourself as you're a center back now. We know that. Do you think that's the most important camp you've had to date?
Yeah, I think so, and I think I'll get a fair opportunity with Jurgen. I think he's trying to find a group of guys that he can fix and kind of put in his system, and I'm looking forward to the challenge. It's been a long time coming, a long time I've been waiting for this opportunity, and I hope everything turns out to the best as I want it to be. But that's why I'm here in Houston right now, taking care of my body, trying to get with the trainers as much as I can before I leave out for Phoenix.
So how difficult? I mean, you had 2009 a little bit, and then you have the injury in 2000, the camp in 2010, injury in 2010. Has it felt odd to? Do you feel attached to the U.S. program? Obviously, you're an American. You're going to play for the U.S. if they ask you to, but do you feel detached from the program a little bit, having kind of skipped across the last couple of years?
Yeah, a little bit. I could say that. I mean, anybody's dream that's playing the MLS is to play with their national team and be a consistent player. I want to be that guy to be called up for every single game. If I'm available and I'm healthy, I want to be up to play every single game I can for the national team. And that's the goal. I want to be a regular guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where this opportunity comes in and, past opportunities. But, with all, me stating that I'm the center back now and Dom coming out saying you're playing center back next year and, you're going to finish the rest of the season on this past year as a center back, it gives me more of a solid foundation to work off of now because I'm not being switched around from position to position where before I was used as a kind of utility man. I was playing outside right mid, center mid, and now I'm back to center back. So me being detached from the U.S., I did feel that. But now I feel like I actually have a foundation to build on, and I'm a center back, and I can learn from that position more because I'm going to be playing it day in and day out, and I can get better and better. And that's my goal. I want to be the best I can be and learn that position as well as I can.
Any expectations at all, or any communication with Jurgen Klinsmann to this point for an idea where he might see you in the setup?
No, we just talked about my injury in the final and how that was going. With my MCL strain or so, and taking care of that in the off season was a big thing. And he asked me if I was going to be all right, and I told him I was seeing the doctors, and I got cleared from the doctors. So I've been working out as much as I can to keep my fitness up and keep my health 100% to lead into this camp. So that's kind of the only communication we've had of going back and forth, like seeing if I'm all right, if the doctor cleared me, and fitness wise. So that's why I'm spending New Year's here in Houston. Maybe enjoy the warm weather compared to Boston, but I'll be working here with my trainers and getting myself mentally and physically prepared for the camp.
All right, one more question. I know you're happy in Houston, and you talk about the young team and what you guys can achieve next year. What are your future aspirations? Are you looking towards Europe? Are you one of those guys?
Yes, 100%. That's been one of my main goals. and I'm fine coming out saying it. Yeah, that's one of my goals in my career is to play over in Europe, play in the top league, and get over there and play. So that's where I got to let my playing do the talking and make sure I'm consistent playing with the Dynamo day in and day out, and be a regular guy with the national team. And hopefully that will open more doors and more opportunities to get the working visa and all that kind of stuff to play over in the top league.
Any preference? Where do you want to go? What team, or what's your perfect team? What's your ideal team?
Well, obviously anybody would pick Man U or something like that. But no, I want to play at the best level. I want to play against the best and be around the best. So if it's the EPL or if it's the Spanish league or whatnot, the German league, all those leagues are really good. You got the German Bundesliga, you got Italy, you got Spain, you got Portugal, you got Holland. Those leagues are great leagues, and they're playing with some world-class players. So to have that opportunity to play against them on a regular basis and in that environment, in that culture, and in that scenery would be fantastic. And obviously that's something that I'm looking forward to in my career.
I'm going to root for Italy or Spain. We're underrepresented in those leagues, Geoff.
Okay, I'm in. I can do
that. Geoff Cameron of the Houston Dynamo, thank you very much for taking the time out, Geoff. We appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, man. You guys have a Happy New Year. Hope you guys had a good holiday this past weekend, and you take care of yourself.
All right, you too. Good luck next month.
Thanks, bud. Talk to you later. Take care.